Hey, good afternoon. We're back. Speak easy. It's been a minute. We had to do some rearranging and get some things together, so we're back in the studio. Today, we're going to start off with what's most pressing in the sports world. I know you all like to talk about more than sports. We are, but today, the Bears schedule came out yesterday, so we're going to jump off into the Bears schedule for 2025. So. We got the preseason games, you know, that we got to be concerned about, not concerned about, but there will be some preseason games. People will attend those. Then what do we have? Dolphins?
For preseason?
No, to be determined. No, those will be determined. But the first game is really we looking at. We're starting off at home with the Minnesota Vikings.
Um, it's a Monday night football game. That's big. I like it for the Bears in the aspect of they don't have a rookie quarterback. Well, neither is McCarthy, but he didn't play last year, so he's essentially a rookie. And that's going to be in Chicago.
Yeah, Monday night.
He's a Chicago area kid coming back home for the first time to play.
You think he's gonna give us some business?
You know, I like JJ. Me personally, I don't think he was worthy of a pick that high. But Minnesota knew they needed a quarterback, and they went and got him when they could. Um, will he come out and shine like who they have last year?
Um,
The guy that came from the Jets.
Yeah,
he came from all over. Jets, Carolina, all over. But he's in Vegas now.
Yeah.
No, he's not in Vegas. He is in Seattle. Gino went to Vegas. I think Caleb is not afraid of the bright lights. I don't think he was afraid of the bright lights last year. He damn sure won't be afraid of the bright lights this year in his second year. I think that's going to go to the Bears, but it's not going to be easy. I think the offense and the receivers in Minnesota they're going to have to get used to McCarthy, even though he had a really good preseason last year, but that's when he got hurt. And it's hard, coming back from a season-ending injury so early on in your career before you really got your footing. I think it's going to be difficult for him. If I'm the Bears, I send everything but the kitchen sink towards his ass every single play. Every time he drops back, I send everybody to him. Make him run, make him get out of the pocket.
He's a rookie.
Well, he's a second-year player, but
like
essentially, but he's essentially a rookie. So
yeah, he didn't see the field last year.
No.
Yeah, so they got
Sam Darnold was a guy.
Sam Darnold, yeah. So they got J.J. McCarthy, Sam Howell, and Brett Rippon.
Brett Rippon's still around?
Yeah, their quarterback.
Okay.
On their roster. So yeah, I got the Bears. It's a home opener.
Yeah.
The stadium is gonna be lit and
lit. Man, you too old to be using lit. What are you talking about?
Lit on fire.
Oh, okay.
Hot.
All right.
Lit's the word.
Not for our age group. It's not.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be banging. It's gonna be jumping.
Man,
it's gonna be on fire.
I'm talking about subscribers know the word lit.
Well, you know what?
The young 25, 30-year-olds know the word lit.
All right,
yeah,
word.
So there you go. Let that be that. Yeah, I'm gonna go out Chicago to take out Minnesota. Anything can happen, but hey, first game of the season, so
right.
I'm gonna go Chicago, and I'm gonna go Chicago a lot this year. Last year, I said 10. I don't know. I said 10 wins. It didn't happen.
Far from it.
Once we lost Washington, the season was over. Don't know why, but we get to play them again this year.
Right. Is that going to be at home? Well, we'll talk about it when we get
that game is in
DC again.
Yeah, that game is in DC.
All right.
So our second game, Detroit Lions,
and it's in Detroit.
With their offensive coordinator now, our head coach.
Yes.
That's going to be a big game. Huge game. We got two. Like last year, we didn't play a divisional team until
way down in the schedule. Yeah,
we didn't play division for a while. Now we're playing two divisional teams
back to back. Start the season,
which is cool. We got to determine what the North Central going to look like. And
let's get it cracking.
I've got a lot of big hopes. I think Chicago, those that are Chicago Bear fans, have a lot of hope and aspiration for the Bears this year with a new head coach. And we're getting Caleb back for a second year under center. We got a fresh front line.
Right.
Our D line is tight. you know,
Got some new weapons on offense that they drafted.
yeah, we got
Um,
new,
Signed some new offensive linemen, which is going to be good for Caleb
tight end.
protection wise. New tight end, new wide receiver,
Yeah, running
new
back,
running back.
from Rutgers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have some weapons. I think and every team has
Oh yeah, new weapons.
changed new weapons and
Yeah.
so,
Turnover.
yeah, turnover. So we just got to see. But I'm putting some stock in our team this year. I don't want to say we're going to be 8-9. Uh, could we be 500? I think we'll be a 500 club this year. We have a tough schedule. They said we have the second hardest schedule in the league this year.
Which it baffles me because generally the teams with the toughest schedules are the teams that had winning seasons the year prior.
And we didn't.
And we did not.
Yeah.
So I think it's almost like the league is saying, all right, Caleb, show us who you are. Okay.
Chicago, show us who you
Yeah.
are. Because they gave us a heck of a schedule.
Yeah. But I like that. I'm cool with that. I'm
Yeah.
cool with that. Test your mettle.
So we're not placing any bets. We're just saying, hey,
Yeah.
I'd like to see the Bears beat Detroit.
Oh, yeah. Will we in Detroit?
Yeah. Hey, Detroit got beat last year.
They got ran through the last game of the playoffs.
So yeah, Detroit they have some holes.
Yeah.
And now they lost their offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And we got Randall L from them.
Right.
Product from Riverdale.
Thornton High School.
And we got a new, coach. So we'll see what happens.
Game 3
at
Soldier Field.
Dak
and the Dallas Cowboys will be coming to the lakefront.
Dak and that garbage team coming to the lakefront. We're going to demolish Dallas. Dallas can't handle it there.
Well, here's the thing. They have a rookie head coach, as do we.
Yeah.
And
they picked up that receiver from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, George Pickens.
Yeah, they picked him.
Yeah, so you pair him up with CeeDee Lamb. That's a pretty good tandem.
He's got to be on point.
Yeah.
They got to be on point for that game because they're going to be throwing the ball a lot.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a running game. Well, they didn't last year.
I don't know who they picked up in the backfield, either through the draft or free agency, but if it's anything like what they had last year, I mean, hell, they went back to Ezekiel Elliott last year. That showed you that they had no running game.
Yeah. So they got a new head coach. So hey, they're no shooter.
Brian Schottenheimer.
Yeah. So it could be.
Hey, you know what? Schottenheimer, his daddy was a head coach. Sometimes that coaching lineage. I know he caught a lot of flack from the press saying he was a bad hire. But man, sometimes, man, if you've been around the game your whole life,
you could be good.
And your dad was an offensive coach, man. I mean, you pick up things.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't put it past him that he won't put a good offense out there.
Yeah, we'll see. What they do. I think we'll win. So. My brother and I and some other friends have been talking about, our upcoming birthdays in September and whether or not we go to, I'll be turning that age.
Yes, you will.
On the 29th of September.
And that's a good thing.
It's a good thing, yeah. God willing, the creek don't rise.
Right.
We'll be there celebrating. We're going to do the Dallas game or fly to Vegas. So we're still up in the air. We're still, shaking the dice, see which way we're going to go. But because his birthday is
the 20th
September, so we both had those birthdays weeks behind each other. So we're either gonna do the Dallas game, tailgate, kick it for our birthdays, for the Dallas game, or we might wind up in Vegas. You never know, or we may do a shindig somewhere else. But those are some of the thoughts we have on that. What are the next 3 games?
Vegas.
That's the 28th of
September. Who's the head? Oh, they got Pete Carroll, who I wanted the Bears to hire.
Why would you want Pete Carroll?
Dude, I don't care about his age.
Pete Carroll's not age. Pete Carroll's a good coach.
Hell of a coach,
in
man.
Seattle.
Yeah,
they
man.
almost won twice.
They should, right.
They won once with Russell, and they lost because of
they didn't give the ball to
the legend.
Right.
They should have given him the ball.
Yeah.
So you want to Pete Carroll? Let him go.
Yeah.
Let him stay where he's at in Vegas.
I think Geno will be good for them. With Brock Bowers out there at he's the tight end. Man, oh my God, he's so cold blooded. Oh, I love Brock Bowers. I think he's gonna be good for Vegas. Pete's old, but he's young at heart. You know, I think Pete's close to 70.
Yeah, he can
But
fire
man,
you up.
yeah,
Get
man,
that team to play for him.
I think they're going to play well. They still have Max Crosby as an edge rusher. I wish they had kept their old coach, the former linebacker for the Giants, but you know things happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Pete will be good for them to bring some a breath of fresh air out to Vegas. That's going to be in Vegas. I think the Bears will be all right because Bears fans are like Cubs fans. We travel.
They travel. Yeah,
we travel.
Yeah, they travel.
Yeah, I mean that stadium is going to be blue and orange instead of silver and black.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Yeah, it's a nice stadium. I know the wife and I were out there a few years ago when they were building that stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked nice just from the exterior, looking at what they were building.
Yeah,
it's even better now that it's been built. So it's still a possibility. You never know.
Right.
Next game, man, that's that Washington game. That's a Thursday night football.
Thursday
game.
night.
That's a Thursday night. I think it's a Thursday night. They're not saying it on here. Is it a Thursday night?
Let me see.
That's a Monday night.
It's a Monday night.
Monday night. Yes, we got to bye the 5th week.
I don't like that 5th week bye.
Too early?
It's too early. I'd rather have a bye
like game
9 or 10 somewhere around there.
Why are you giving us a 5th week bye?
Yeah,
we just getting our leather wrapped up. You know,
because I want to buy late in the year so we can if we
got some injuries,
right,
we can heal
for the play for the stretch run.
Yeah, but now you're giving us a bye week 5, like.
Yeah,
I mean, they killing us.
Yeah, that's bad. Man.
Yeah, week 5, and we got 12 more games to play.
God damn you, Roger Goodell! You did
with
this shit on purpose.
With no breaks. We don't have a Christmas game. We don't have a Thanksgiving game. So yeah, that Washington game, that's a payback.
Yeah.
In DC.
Yeah.
Paying back Jaden Daniels, I don't think you can pay that kid back. He's gonna come to play no matter what.
I smack that motherfucker in the mouth every chance I get.
I don't. Yeah, try hard. You know, his mama come smack your ass.
Okay,
she'll be sitting right next to you.
Right.
Hey, I tell the women, you know what I tell the man.
Man, exactly. Back up off my baby. My baby.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the Bears will get them because think about it, the Bears should have won that game last year.
They should have. They should have. But we had a bonehead coach that made a bonehead call or no timeout or nothing.
Right.
And that game.
And Tyreek is out there doing the fool.
Yeah.
Arguing and talking shit to fans.
I don't know why that game cost us our season. Did it demoralize?
It demoralized them, and I think the locker room was just shot, man. It was done. I think that was more of an indictment on the head coach than on the players because the players had to look at that and say, "Hold up, dude, you just put us in a terrible position at the most crucial moment of the game."
Yeah,
and then you go and double down on your reason for not calling the timeout.
Yeah, we didn't need it.
Get us in position, man.
Yeah.
You know, I think that was more of an indictment on him than anything. But so I think we'll get the Washington game. So at that point, from my estimation, I think by this point we'll be. I'm going to go.
3?
No, I'm going
4-2.
I'm going 4. Frank, I'm looking at 5-0.
You looking? Oh, it's 5.
I think they're going to beat Minnesota. They're going to beat Detroit.
Woo,
they're going to beat Dallas, and they're going to beat Vegas, and they're going to beat Washington. I'm going 5-0.
Ooh, wee. All right, well, y'all heard it.
5-0.
Speak easy. I didn't say that. I believe I could go 3-2.
3-2.
I don't know who those 2 losses are going to come from, but I could see we could be 3-2. Yeah.
We should have beat Detroit last year.
We should have beat Detroit last year. We should have beat them once.
Right.
Could have beat them twice, but we should have at least won one of those games. So we can play against Detroit.
Here's the thing.
We're not afraid of Detroit.
Dak is coming off of an injury.
Yeah, he is.
Was it Achilles?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, he's coming off of a major injury. So we'll see what
you got an injured quarterback week 1 and an injured quarterback in week 3. Yeah, you should win both of those games. If anything, you should be 4-1 going into Washington.
You should be.
Should be 4-1.
No. It's just, we'll be 3-1.
3-1. I'm sorry, 3-1 going into Washington. Yeah.
So we're gonna go to the 7th game, and then we're gonna switch gears. So that 7th game is we're gonna be in New Orleans. Is coming here.
They're coming here with the rookie head coach, another rookie head coach.
Yeah, and their quarterback just retired.
They don't even know who their quarterback is gonna be.
They have no idea.
Right.
They're scrambling. So by week 7, who knows?
Yeah.
What New Orleans will look like, who their quarterback will be. So that's a toss-up game.
Yeah.
And New Orleans has never played us hard anyway. and it's not like we see them a lot.
Right.
So that's a toss-up game for me.
Yeah, maybe they bring Bobby Abear back, bring back Drew Brees. I don't know.
Maybe they get your boy. What's his name? Is with Cincinnati or with Cleveland last year. What's his name?
Oh,
The dude that was the praying quarterback.
Jameis.
Jameis.
They don't want Jameis back in New Orleans, man. They don't want that dude back down there.
Yeah,
I love Jameis, but they don't want him back there.
You love him because of his antics, but not because of his play. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I digress.
Yeah. All right, so now we're going to jump gears from NFL to the NBA. So the other night, it was a good game, and I believe that Boston was coming back to win that game against New York. Jason had 42 points at that point, and he was on fire. Jason, he had fallen and tweaked his wrist, but he came back from that, popped a couple of threes, and I believe Boston could have won that game. Seriously, if Jason hadn't gone down, he was just that in his groove that they couldn't stop his jumper, and he was popping threes. And unfortunately, when I saw initially, no one saw the injury from a TV standpoint. It was people in the stands, but once they showed that initial replay, and there was no contact, I said he towards Achilles. I knew it instantly. I said because once with that push off, and he fell, I'm like, oh, that's his Achilles. That's not. He didn't twist his ankle. No one fell on him. I'm like, that's unfortunate. I love Jason Tatum. Great player. Should he have won MVP last year? They gave it to Jaylen Brown. Was it Tatum's year this year? If they would have if they had won the series and won the championship,
it definitely would have gone to
Jason. It would have gone to Tatum. Yeah. Tatum would have got it this year. So now, what's your thoughts?
I hate it for Jason. My boy Eric Tiller, he has a thing about Jason Tatum. Eric says that he doesn't trust light-skinned basketball players.
Oh, God.
I said, damn,
you don't trust light-skinned basketball players. They soft.
He said, Doc, they too soft, man. After every game, he texts me and Byron about Jason Tatum. And I think he likes Jason, but he's just like, dude, he's too soft.
He's too soft.
But I hate it for Jason. I hate it for anybody that that has a season or any type of terrible injury, man. I'd hate it when Dame just went down. I hate it when Kyrie just went down.
All Achilles. Boys. Yeah, Achilles. Yeah.
But Frank, think about this. And I've said this for a long time. Kobe had an Achilles. All of these guys wear low-top gym shoes.
Mike, high top.
Yeah.
Mike didn't wear low-top Jordans.
No, but you know what? I remember Dominique tore his Achilles, and Dominique wore high-top Brooks. I get it. But for three superstars in the span of 2 months to tear their Achilles and all three of them wear low-top gym shoes.
Yeah, because there's no support.
There's no support. I mean, you can take the hell out of your ankle all you want.
Yeah, you don't see Curry going out.
No, I just.
It could be that.
It could be that.
We don't know, but that's just
it's a pattern. It's a pattern.
Yeah.
But no, man, I hate it for Jason. I think he's a phenomenal ball player. Like you said, if they had, if they could have, if he had still been around and they pull this series out against New York and they make it all the way to the championship series and he has a great series and they win the second in a row, yeah, he's definitely a playoff or a finals MVP.
Do you think they're going to beat New York?
No. They won last night by double digits. Here's my thing about New York. If New York is fortunate enough to get past Boston,
they ain't touching Indiana.
They're not going to touch Indiana. But if they're fortunate to get past Indiana and OKC makes it to the finals, man, my guy at work today, Ray, we're talking about it. OKC is too good defensively with too many good. Oh my God,
too long,
man. They're too tenacious on defense. So get back to New York.
Yeah,
I think they'll get past Boston. Will they get past Indiana? Was it? It would. Indiana's this is second year in a row getting it to the finals, to the conference finals.
Yeah.
And
this is Indiana wants it better. I think they want it more than we even imagine because they were there last year and got beat. And they smell it now. They got blood in the water
Oh,
again.
yeah.
Like, hey, we were here last year,
Yeah.
and we'll be damned if we're going to let anybody take this from us this year.
And this is the third game in this series that New York has been down 20 in the fourth quarter. You can't keep coming back like that.
Right.
So I don't know if it's something dealing with Tibbs and him playing his,
wearing them
guys out, man.
But see, those guys, Barkley and Shaq and Kenny said the other night when New York blew them out in New York.
Yeah. Oh, they made mention of it?
Yeah, with Tibbs, he playing them, but, they dialed in with Tibbs, run them into the ground. I'm like, that's what you think.
Yeah.
They don't have a choice but to show that they're dialed in, but they're probably dog tired.
Dog tired, man.
Because he burns them all the way.
And he doesn't have a heavy rotation. He only goes about 7 deep.
Yeah. Nobody else comes off that bench, man. Right. So I don't think New York, if they get past Boston, which they should beat Boston in New York, they should just go ahead and just, put them to bed. Is it tonight or tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night.
And then they're going to run into Indiana. But New York has home court advantage if they win.
Yeah. Man, Indiana, they don't give a damn.
Indiana, they don't care.
They don't give a damn.
They don't care. They don't care. You can play.
They're going to fight you in the Lions Den.
We can play in your home every night.
Every night.
And they're going to find a way to win.
We're going to bring it to your chest.
Yeah. I like Indiana. I never liked Indiana. I
never liked New York.
Never liked New York.
I never liked Boston.
Never hated Boston. Yeah. But New York, Indiana, Reggie Miller, those bums, never. But not the Reggie Miller's a bum. He's a hell of a shooter. But I never liked Indiana because they played in our division.
Right.
And, we always had to whip their ass and show who's the boss. But definitely not, New York. Patrick Ewing, John Stark. I couldn't stand that team.
No.
So, we'll see. For the West Coast, who you looking at?
Golden State is out.
Who?
Golden State is out. They lost to Minnesota.
Yeah, Golden State.
Had they had Steph, it'd be a different story. We'd be looking at Game 6 right now, but that's not the case.
Where was what was Jimmy Butler? Where has he been the last 2-3
Frank,
games? Does he not want to be there?
Frank,
he's on a 1-year deal, right?
No, they sounded like a 3-year deal. He's there.
I don't know if I want him.
I'm gonna tell you what I've been telling people since Jimmy was in Chicago. Jimmy's cold-blooded, but Jimmy thinks he's better than what he is. Jimmy, you're not Jimmy, you're a Robin. You're not a Batman.
He keeps saying,
and when it's time for you to be Batman, you don't come through.
I think he's a Joker. I think he's not even Robin. Because, dude, he gave up so many shots under the basket. He passed out. Like, what are you doing, dude? Lay it up, dunk the ball. You distributing,
and he was missing bunnies.
Yeah, and you distributing the ball. You're not here to be a distributor. Not now. No. Steph is not in the game. Your job is to score.
And he didn't.
And I'm like, I don't know if he wants to be there.
Too late. You signed the deal, brother.
Yeah, too late. You there now.
Hell yeah.
But I know Steph looking at him like, dude, is that what we brought you here to do?
I'm waiting for you.
Crash out.
I'm waiting for you to put it on him and spell me another game so I can come back.
Yeah, didn't happen. So. Yeah,
so Minnesota, and was it
Minnesota?
Tonight's what game? Tonight's what? No, tomorrow's Game 6. OKC and Denver. Is that tomorrow?
That's tomorrow. Yeah, OKC. They're back.
It's 3-2. So tomorrow is Game 6. Yeah, they can close it out because they're back in. They're in Denver.
Yeah. I want OKC to finish this off. To get this out the way,
I just can't see Joker losing a game, a pivotal game, a closeout game in Denver. I think he's gonna snap. He's probably gonna have a triple.
Denver and Thunder play tonight at 7:30.
Oh, really?
Game 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the spread is negative 5.5 OKC.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. Who's waiting? Who's in the waiting in the West?
Minnesota. They're waiting on.
All right, Minnesota. Yeah, they just won. So Minnesota against OKC or Denver.
And here's my thing: if Denver makes it, the Joker has to go up against Gobert.
Yeah,
and he might get doubled by Julius Randle.
Yeah, Julius Randle's been playing
Still
great.
got Nas Reed. I mean, Minnesota has some size, and Rudy's not. See. Joker's having his way against Chet because Chet might be 7'2", but he 190,
right.
200 pounds soaking
Yeah.
wet. And against Joker, he gonna body you all game.
And nobody can handle Gordon.
No, man, Jesus.
Gordon's a beast.
Yeah, and Aaron is strong. He's a big
Yeah,
dude.
he's a big dude. And he's strong. So
Yeah.
we'll see. That's the NBA for now. Let's GS getting down.
Yeah, that's just Minnesota getting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Golden State.
So, I want to talk about the Diddy trial. Not that I've been following it and all this.
Because I haven't really been following.
I haven't, but it's just
interesting.
It's interesting. You know, what they're trying to say is that Casey, was she a willing participant in all these free calls? And it's interesting from my visual perspective because he has her at all these red carpet events and all these little galas and all that, and she's right there next to him and smiling on his shoulder. You know,
you say galas, is it Gaylas or GALAS?
Hey, she was at all these events, and she was his, his shoulder piece, and she looked comfortable.
Yeah.
How comfortable are you? And the night after, you're getting sexed by 4 or 5 guys and videotape, and he's watching. And are you mentally just shutting down and saying, I got to do this because I'm afraid for my life, because he's controlling me? Or are you a willing participant because you stayed around for 12 years?
What I would say to that is, when you, and I don't know her personal background, but when you get in that life, and I mean, of course, I'm not in that life, but from what I
do you want to be in that life?
Hell no.
Okay.
Hell no.
Not to go to the free calls, if you just want to.
Well, I mean, many things I'm not impervious to, but
right.
But sometimes you can be smitten by the fame and the fortune.
Yeah.
So there's some things you might be willing to do and look past just to stay, in
the game.
In the game. So, okay, let me see. Do I go back home to, Cincinnati? Not to, say anything negative about Cincinnati or disparaging towards Cincinnati, but, a smaller town, and just live my life doing whatever it was I was doing, whatever I got my degree in and going to that field? Or is it better for me to go to all the parties, not have to worry about anything financially? I'm in the best circles.
But you being gang bang.
But I'm doing that because this is part of what's keeping me here, and I'm doing that while I'm hooked on drugs, on alcohol,
right? You on
and I might be forced because he's been physical towards me in the past, and maybe I just can't get out of it. I don't know how to get out. That doesn't mean I'm a willing participant. I mean, it's one of those things where people can say, well, if you want to leave, you can just leave, which you can.
But a lot of people are basically brainwashed into not leaving an abusive situation because they don't know anything else better. This is what they're.
This is what I'm accustomed to.
And
it's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate. And I think that's what the defense is trying to paint her as, that person that stuck around. Why didn't you leave?
She's a victim in all of this. That's what they're painting her as.
Yeah. No, she's not a victim. Defense is saying she's not a victim. She's a willing participant. The prosecutors.
I mean, the defense is painting her as a victim. The prosecutors are saying she's a willing participant.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So it's shameful, dude. And they said her husband got up and ran out of the courtroom today.
Husband?
Yeah.
What husband?
Casey.
She married?
She got a boyfriend or somebody. Yeah. He got up and ran out. He saw the video. Like, you didn't know? Why were you there? You know what she was doing.
What video was he watching?
They played him in the courtroom.
What, of her getting...
they played snippets of the video.
Getting rotted.
Yeah.
I'd run out too.
Yeah. If you knowing and seeing are two different
things, right? Yeah.
I know your past, but
right. But to see it,
never seen it, and now to see it,
yeah.
And what I'm seeing,
right?
Oh my God!
And then if she was, she was drug induced, you can probably look and tell that your lady, she's checked out. She's not even there.
She's not even. It's not an enjoyable intercourse.
No.
She's just laying there,
right?
wet rag.
Yeah,
Got
and that's hard to see.
yeah.
I would have run out too.
Yeah,
You know.
I feel bad for Casey that occurred, and I wish I hope they throw the book at Diddy. I hope they throw the book at him. His ass rots in jail forever because he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He's
When
a
I
piece
look
of
at the
shit.
video of him
Yeah.
kicking her and all
Yeah,
that
he's
shit in
a
the
piece of shit.
hotel,
He's
it's
a
just like,
punk ass
dude,
dude.
you've done worse. It just wasn't caught on video.
Right, you've done worse, and you ain't raised one hand at one guy.
No.
Now one guy in your circle, outside your circle, you raise one.
But then there are people that are guys that work for him that that are saying he treated them the same way.
Yeah.
You know, guys who he would, kind of quote unquote punk that did work for him production wise and didn't pay them.
Yeah.
And it's like,
he had muscle.
Yeah, right.
He had muscle.
You know,
that go take care of his business for him.
Yeah.
So.
So yeah, no, I don't have any sympathy towards him.
None at all.
You know, do I hate the fact that our black entertainers, they never really lived when they don't pass away or die with their riches. Something always seems to derail them later in life, and all of their riches are swept from underneath them. When other people in the entertainment industry, they lived or they passed away with their riches and they're able to pass it down to their children or their family and their name.
Yeah.
And knowing full well that they've done far worse than what these other black entertainers are accused of doing or to have lived to have done.
You bring that up, and I think of Bill Cosby. They ran him up through the ringer.
Yeah.
R. Kelly ran him through the ringer.
Puff.
Now they alleging that Smokey Robinson has done some egregious things to his housewives, which at 85 I find that so hard to believe.
Yeah.
I find why do I need to assault you housewives? I mean housekeepers at 85 years old.
But here's all you need is an allegation.
It's an allegation. That's all you need.
Allegation. That's it.
And somebody support your allegation.
Right.
Let's all get together and say he did it. Okay.
Right. Okay.
And this is when he did it. And this is what he did. And he's gonna have to pay us to walk away.
Right. To walk away.
Or does he fight it?
Right.
I don't know.
And then they say, okay, well, do you have enough money to fight it long term, or is it best just to? But then if you pay out, you're admitting guilt. So
you could pay out and not admit guilt. It's just
but people are going to say, well, if you didn't do it, why don't you go through trial?
Did he pay Casey $20 million and said he didn't do anything? Then the tape came out. Then he gets up there and starts crying. Oh, I'm sorry, it was drugs and da. It's like, so you were guilty when you paid her the $20 million. You just didn't want to go to trial. But now the trial has come back to haunt you. That's why I hope they burn his ass, because he knew what he did and lied all those years that it never occurred. Then when the tape comes out, all of a sudden, now I'm sorry, I want to be apologetic. Man, kick rocks with no shoes. Yeah. So, tell me about your experience, what you just saw.
So, the other evening, I was with my wife and my son, Nikki and Dylan, and we were driving from Michigan City, Indiana, driving up through the back roads of Michigan, going up to our parents' place in South Haven. And as we're driving through New Buffalo, as soon as we hit the Michigan border, all we saw was dispensaries. I mean, it seemed like they were on every city block on the corner. And if you know anything about driving through the back roads of Michigan and New Buffalo, there aren't actual city blocks, but as you're driving along the road, we drove past at least, I'm gonna say on the low end, 25 to 30 dispensaries.
25 to 30.
And where there weren't dispensaries, there were places being built. They had the build out for more dispensaries, because you had the sign coming soon, this place, that place. And you just knew it was all smoke shops and dispensary shops. And then we drove through another little area, and there were like 4 of them, all within like a little strip mall area. But that's all it was. There were no other types of stores or shops. It was just all dispensaries. And it was like the cannabis corridor, the marijuana highway. It was wild. And I was thinking, in this little back road area, how many of these dispensaries are owned and run by people of color, aside from people of from Arab countries? How many of them are black?
I don't know. So when he said he was up in Michigan and what he was about to say before he even opened his mouth, I said you ran to a bunch of dispensaries. Not that I have gone up there and seen it, but I've been told that once you cross that border from Indiana to Michigan, it's nothing but weed dispensaries everywhere.
Yeah.
And to your question, I don't know. It's we hear about it here in Illinois that they want to that they was it was so hard for the African American investors to get a license to be a dispensary. It was so hard for them. Now, is it it's the same thing in Detroit? I mean, in Michigan, probably so, because we were penalized, and institutionalized based on drug possession, either dealing or whatever. But a lot of it was marijuana. It wasn't all of it wasn't hardcore drugs. It wasn't crack and cocaine and heroin. It was a lot of marijuana back in the day. And they want to dismiss those cases, but now you still don't want us to be a part of the investment that you're taxing American people on for drug consumption.
Yeah.
It's all it is drug consumption. Marijuana, whatever it is, liquor is still a consumption of that substance. But we can't be a part of that American dream on a high scale.
I mean, Frank, when this shit first happened, when they made it legal several years ago, there were politicians who were part of writing, part of the legislative branch, writing this shit in the law. They left their political spot and started opening up dispensaries. So you got fat on both ends. So you got fat on both ends.
Yeah, they want a piece of that cash because they know it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and they want a piece of that.
I remember it was this black young lady. I don't know if she was from Denver or she was somewhere out west, and she was a newscaster. And when that shit first hit, she left her post as an on-air talent
So
and
she
opened up. Yeah, she was like, "Let me get in." She had her money, and I wasn't mad at her. No, because if you can get in, if you have the financial wherewithal to get in on the ground level, hop on it.
Yeah.
But it pisses me off when I see a lot of these politicians. They did that. You got rich on both ends, but now when you have black would-be investors want to come in, the same state legislatures, and the politicians, they'll say, nope, we're not going to provide you a license or whatever the licensing group that gives the license for people to open up a dispensary. We're still on the back end of it. They'll say, okay, we'll give a few of you guys a license just to show that we're giving that, we're granting you the license. But the numbers, I'm sure there's a huge disparity as far as who's getting a license and who isn't.
Right.
Based on race.
And I guarantee you, I'm not guaranteeing based on fact, but I guarantee you those dispensaries, just like they are here, are predominantly
in Michigan,
white.
White, and I'm sure a lot of them are Arab.
And a lot of them are Arab. And all the Arabs run all the dadgum vape shops.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the Arabs run all the liquor stores. All the Arabs run all the gas stations. Yeah. Why is that? Why do they get that opportunity that others don't? They come with money, or they come with TIF money. They come in the country, they got money. Gas stations, all of them have the vape shops.
Think about this, Frank. For years, just up until maybe 2007, 2008, pretty much the vast majority of your gas stations on the south and west side were owned by black people.
They were.
The last one standing was on 75th and Yates. Or was it 75th and Yates on the corner? I think it was a Shell or a Citgo. Mm-hmm. That was the last one standing, and that man was finally bought out. And that was the last black-owned gas station in the city of Chicago.
Yeah, that's yeah.
And we owned all our own liquor stores in our community.
We had our own liquor stores. Yeah. But not anymore.
Not anymore.
They come in and just taking over. Not the people, Arabs,
And City Hall is allowing it.
No, City Hall, they just turn a blind eye. They just look at money.
Yeah.
How much revenue can we get off
right
taxes? Yeah. And they'll take it. Yeah. So
It's frustrating. It really raises your blood pressure, man, when you see it and you talk about it.
yeah,
But it's one of those things. Well, when are we ever going to get our turn?
the president said now or never.
He said more than never.
He said more than never. I don't want to get into
Never, ever, ever,
I don't want
ever,
to get
ever.
into Mr. Trump. He is so hilarious. The funniest thing I saw him say the other day. The female reporter said, "So, uh, what kind of concessions you want from Canada?"
Oh,
That dude said, "Friendship."
friendship.
What you saying? That's not a concession. He was like, "Well,
Well,
it could be."
concessions are hot
I'm like,
dog,
do you not like a hot dog?
dog,
Concession stand?
Pepsi,
Pepsi?
yeah,
Hamburger?
popcorn.
I said, dude, do you even know what a concession is?
No, no.
Is
His
it-
response
is it-
his
is it-
response
is-
was clear that
is
he
it-
does
is it-
not.
Is it food related?
Yeah.
Because I think I have a hot dog right now.
Condiments, ketchup, mustard, relish. What do you
Sorry, I laughed so hard because she hit him right back like,
Yeah,
that's
not a concession.
He's like,
Sir,
well,
it's not a concession.
it could be. Yeah.
But it's not.
I want them to be my friend. That's not a concession,
No.
dude.
No.
Then the other day, could have been yesterday. He was on Air Force One, and I said, "What do you think about the president of Syria?" He's a nice looking man.
Yeah.
He's old.
What?
He's a nice, tough guy. He's a good looking
Yeah.
man.
He's strong.
He's strong.
What?
We don't talk about our adversaries as
No.
nice looking men.
No.
No, we don't want to be projecting them as nice looking
No.
people. No,
No.
it's just
And that's not what she meant by that question.
He's so clueless.
He's clueless, Frank. He's
He's a
clueless.
nice looking man. He's handsome. He's strong.
Yeah.
You know, Putin.
Yeah.
He walks on a horse with no shirt.
Oh, yeah. Right. What? What?
Dude, this guy, he cracks me up so much. It's like a comedy show.
Frank, at some point I was thinking after he won the election last year, I'm thinking,
Things would change.
No, I'm thinking, the media probably wants him because he's good for ratings.
He is.
That's the only thing he's good for. He's good for ratings. He's great for ratings.
It's Comedy Central.
Yeah, it's Comedy Central.
Comedy Central.
Comedy Central every
And no
single
one
day.
in his party will even address it. Well, they won't even comment on it. Like, no, we all. That's not what he meant. Why is it always not
That's
what he meant? That's
No,
what he said.
That's what he said. I don't give a damn if that's what he meant or not. That's what came out of his
what
mouth.
he said.
And he said it with such conviction.
Conviction.
That's what he meant.
That's what he meant. Concessions. Friendship.
Friendship. What?
She was like, that's not a concession. She said, well, it could be.
What are you in 8th grade?
No, dude, that's 5th grade.
Jesus, man.
Ah.
Then there was an Indian reporter asking him a question, and the gentleman had a very strong accent.
Mhm.
And Trump, he looks, he's like, I don't know what you're saying. Next question. Next, you over there. This is like, dude, you're dealing with a member from press member from a foreign country.
Right.
If you don't understand him, ask him to say it again and listen
Right. He
closely
dismissed-
and answer his question. He just dismissed him.
First of all, who gave you the right to ask me a
Why
question?
are you here?
Why are you even here?
Yes.
I could even be on your soil, India.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of you all out there going to be speaking to me, but I don't want to listen to you.
I don't want to listen to you because I don't understand what you're saying.
No,
Your
I
dialect
wanna see-
it was too strong.
Those people over there.
Yeah.
You people. Yes. My people. Dude. So, I mean, how on earth does he say that all other countries of color cannot be refugees anymore, but you allow the Afrikaners who were part of the apartheid regime, their kids, grandkids, or whomever,
to be granted,
flown over here and granted asylum, and now
give
you
them
want us
whatever
to
they want.
take them in.
Give them whatever they want.
Yeah. Then he lies and says, well, because they were being prosecuted, they were being killed, they're the farmers.
Their land was being taken. It wasn't their land.
That's not their land.
They took over that land. It's
Yeah.
not theirs though. That was the land of South Africans that lived there.
And this dude says he's going to let them come over here, but nobody else can come.
Nobody else can come.
Ain't no other refugees can come over here. But they can, because why? Musk, who is Afrikaner,
Right.
not,
Bring these people.
bring my people back.
Yeah.
I'm like, send their ass to Europe. Send them to Europe. That's where they should go.
Frank.
Send them to Europe. They need to be here. Why come here? Why don't you just send them to Europe?
No,
Send them to Europe.
because they know they can come here and get whatever they want
and get whatever they want
with Trump and
with
Musk.
Trump. So yeah, we'll do it for you. It's so racist, dude.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, it is.
You will blow your top trying to figure it out because you can't figure it out.
You can't figure it out, and every day there's something different. Every day there's a new drama. You know, I don't know if it's true. Like I haven't been watching the news. I've been working today. You know, talking about, are they going to try and cut spending in Medicaid?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are. They said they weren't, but they're going to do it. They're going to probably attach Social Security next, and then it's going to be Medicare.
Yeah. I mean, they can put all the 30-day holds on everything they want. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen because they have the votes to do it.
Yep.
They got the votes to do it. So, yeah, that's it for the day, people.
All right.
It was good, and we'll be back.
We will be back. Y'all have a good evening.
Good evening, and hey, happy Mother's Day.
Yes, happy belated Mother's Day to all the wonderful, fantastic, fabulous, beautiful mothers out there.
Mothers and wives.
Whether you are a mother biologically or a mother taking care of someone else or looking after someone else. God bless you.
God bless you.
Father's Day coming up next, so don't sell us short.
Yeah, don't sell us short. We don't want no, hot dogs and hamburgers.
No.
Concessions.
Right. I guess maybe we'll take friendship.
Friendship.
Yeah.
Take friendship.
Right.
Later.